Hello and welcome again to my channel. Today I talk about to my high school days about the all developer tools. When I was young, I started using the Microsoft tools, buy the license for the students. I remember by the Visual Studio C++ for Windows NT and Windows 95 in 1996. He bought this package for only students that includes Microsoft Visual C++ Professional and Visual Basic Professional. This bots only includes the license and license request for sending the software packages after. I starting programming with C++ on Windows 95 and next Windows NT. I might explain how develop a simple program for Windows using the Windows API libraries. For example, create a simple window with the hello world message, or using the mouse. Next, in 1995, I bought this big book from Charles Petzold. This is the best edition for programming in Windows API. That includes some features like multi-threading programming or Microsoft Foundation classes. But now we starting with the simple program on Windows with the C, with the Windows API with the C language. Let's start in my Windows NT workstation. Let's starting the Visual C++ Microsoft Developer Studio. This is all developer studio IDE for Windows NT and Windows 95 from 1996. For example, we opened the first Hello World program, and the first thing on Windows programming, you don't have in C. You starting the program with main function, but in Windows API you create a WinMain. This is WinMain is used instead the main of C program. This is a simple program that create a window. Let's start the program with the WinMain with different arguments from Windows API, and we need to define application. We create a function previously that defines which is the class used to define the main window of this application. For example, if what is the icon used in this application, what is the mouse cursor form used in this application, the background of the window. If you use the menu, you put the pointer that points to the menu of the menu application, and the next register the class into the Windows and return this window class for create the window. Create the window, you can define different parameters or arguments for the window same as is window overlapped or not. You can change the window, the title window. In this case is a static string, says hello world. And next, show the window and update the content the window. The show the window is simple, paint the window on the screen or show the window on the screen. And update the window, force the window to paint itself. Next, curiosity is a processor, a message processor. Each window or each application is in charge to process messages generated from window. This get message is get message from the Windows queue, and translate message is in charge to translate some message from or of keyboard, messages from keyboard. For example, this function is translate the messages, and dispatch message sends this message to WinProc procedure function in this case. This function is in charge to send this received message to WinProc function resides in my application. But the first thing of the Windows application in C, you need to process the messages from the application to application. I mean, the Windows have the desktop server can process the messages between the Windows and the desktop. For example, if you minimize the window, the message sends to the application, or the application sends to the Windows. Microsoft have the special utility can spy these messages from two applications. For example, desktop. If you click on the, for example, on Microsoft Spy, this is a self application, and you can view the messages from this application. You can spy all the defined classes and types on this window. For example, messages is messages sent from Windows, because for simplify, all actions produced by the all events, mouse, keyboard, move the window, move mouse over the window, emits the all any messages to application, and each application in charge to the process this message. For example, if the application window maximize, you need to repaint content. This is a message. For example, if execute this application, you can execute this application. This is my application, Hello World application, and can spy the messages from this application. For example, this application, the simple paint some boxes on the Windows area. But if go to the spy and refresh, go to the Hello World and open the messages, Okay. Well, look, this is the messages sent to the application. For example, set cursor, move cursor, or pick the left. For example, window pane is executed when I go to the application and select or come back. This is some messages sent to application, and application is in charge to process this message. Example, when I pick the window, the application maybe window sent to the application is needed repaint content. What or who or when process the message? You need to create a main loop for get the message from window server, from Windows, translate the message and dispatch the message. In the program, you need to create a new function or procedure, main procedure, that process this message. It's a win procedure. This procedure is in charge in your application that process these messages. For example, if you create the window, I do nothing. For example, when destroy the window, you make any things. Also, post the kit message to the close application, or some events. For example, if Windows detect the push left button, Windows send the left button down to the application, and you make something in your application. For example, if you mouse move, you do something. If you Windows send to the application is needed to repaint the content. The application is in charge to process all messages sent from Windows, to do anything into the application. If you resize the window, you need to repaint the window, or if you need to detect the mouse is pushed down into your application, you need to get this message and process the message and do anything in your application. And this is a simple program that make a simple boxes into the window area, into the application area, and if need detect or if you don't know which the message is needed for that you need, can you use Microsoft Spy and attach it to the window, and you look at all the messages sent from Windows to your application. This function have is a dispatcher of and process the message for each message for different type of event generated from Windows. You have, for example, in window for painting the content of the window. For example, you need create the handle for paint to this window, and you need to make the begin paint something using this handle, and end the paint. And the paint is ending to the painting something like rectangles, circles, ellipses, or other graphical elements or text. Well, this is when the Windows force the repaint in the window, send this message to the application, and the application gets this message. Handle is type HDC, is a handle of the context of the device. In this case, the window or the screen. In other cases, can exist the printer. You can print to the GDI device, a graphics device independent interface, and this is handle, get the handle from the device, and you can write or paint to this device. Another thing on Windows types from Windows API is a thing in the window. For example, this argument. This argument is a handle of the instance of the program of this program. This handle is the handle of the instance of the program itself. So the other type not used in this is a HWND that points the handle to window. And if all things work with window, you reference it to this handle. The handle, I think the handle hides the similar that pointer, or hide the pointer. I mean the handles, for example, this is example of code. If you have some structure, my structure blah 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 blah, you with different with different fields, or int age example, have you in C you can create the structure. The handle, for example, is declared as structure. This is for example my handle, my structure handle, and my structure record. When you use the my structure, you can use, for example, I mean for example my structure record or handle, for example my handle, for example. Let's say compile. Okay, now this is open for this is not use it, but this is a simple example of handle. This handle is similar than this defined. The original structure contains, for example, window properties or other properties of any Windows structures of Windows data structure used in the application, and next declare a type def, a type. For example, for the handle is hide the pointer notation. Can use the very sugar code or more friendly without the asterisk. The handle hides this notation. You can declare as a normal type, and next use as a pointer, because it's the pointer, is the hidden syntax handle is a pointer to an instructor. In this case, window handle is a handle pointer to the window instance application. Windows, if you have three window, if the application have three windows, maybe you need different handles for each window. Get the mouse event and create a simple form that like a rectangle. For example, the push button event change the cursor form as a cross and change to the arrow. Well, other feature is typical from these IDEs is debugging. We do a simple debugging session. For example, we need debug this function. Can put the breakpoint using the right button of mouse and select the breakpoint and executing debug session. This is a main window with the white background, and for example I click the right button and go to the drawballs outline because the left button is called directly drawballs outline. For example, I put breakpoint here and continue the execution. For example, press F5 to continue, F5, okay, and draw the text and click again left button, and can you see the program goes to the WinProg and process the left button message. Can inspect the local variables. For example, the begin and end point. The point is a Windows structure that store X and Y X and Y coordinates. And take a look, some curiosity how get coordinates of the mouse. The coordinates of the mouse is a part of the word of this parameter. This is the weird behavior or weird manner of the get of data of this component. When the message is passed through this procedure, this function, the coordinates of the current position of the mouse is stored on the L param. This type of a word param. L param. You can see this number. The low word of this parameter that contains its coordinate, and the high word of L param that contains the Y coordinate of the mouse in the application region. Okay, and for example, we can debug this F10 to go to the next F10, Then you can see the change the variables. It is very similar of Visual Studio recent versions. Have the same the same behavior of the IDE. F10 to step by step, of F5 execute, of F11 to the step over. You can see on the actions step into F11, F10 step over, shift F11 step out, or run into the cursor. It's the same actions than any debugger tool, or very similar than recent versions of the Visual Studio. Also can inspect the memory. For example, can go to the this handle. It's a display. Put this handle, copy. You can inspect any location of the memory. Also can inspect any variables or visualize variables. For example, lparm. The low word is D 00D0, and high word is 01A7. This is the location of the mouse. F5 can remove. F5. Okay, can change the location of the mouse and change the value of the coordinates. You can see it. Let's do another thing of window API developing style. You can stop debugging or remove breakpoint, or disable, not remove. Can see another things. For example, the Windows API have some primitives, like draw rectangle, like this. This function that calls or that draw a rectangle. What is the for example, what is the color, what is the brush used, is selected before you draw. For example, when the box is valid, or when the finish draw the box, you need to draw the box. First, you need to select an object like a brush. This is a function can select the object like a brush. You need to select object and get object from stock, and you need to select an object identification like black brush. This is a type of brush used for draw the rectangle, and then draw rectangle using the respective device handle. Next, can draw the simple text with the text out. Existing another calls like a draw text. Also, can use a set row. This function can change the function that applies into the painting area. For example, if you paint the rectangle and use the knot, the function knot, produce this behavior like this. Take a look. Is invert the value of the original point that pass through the rectangle. This function is a not function because it invert the value of the original point that pays behind and over it. This function is controlled by setrop, and type of operation is not. For example, this is simple primitives can you use for painting any objects on the application area. In this example, a rectangle. Another typical graphics primitive is create an ellipse. You need 4 points, like a rectangle. Can create a circle in this case, or ellipse. Depends of these 4 coordinates. For example, can execute, and you can look. Sorry, I removed the breakpoint. This is bots with ellipse, for example. We draw it an ellipse with the not function, because inverted. This is a fillet ellipse, circle or ellipse. Inverted, if the color of the rectangle is black, the ellipse is inverted of the original color of the background. This is different types of primitives can use for drawing any elements. Okay, for example, we can use this meanwhile drawing for example, meanwhile drawing rectangle. F7 to draw. Okay. No. This is incorrect. And at this point doesn't have. Look at this. Meanwhile moving, can redraw the rectangle and the ellipse through the application area. Close the window. Build all. Take care. This IDE is very primitive and doesn't have any intelligence or checking while do editing. This is very old. This is 1996 IDE and doesn't have any syntax checking on the fly. For example, this function not exist, and only error happens when compile the code. And that's all for at the moment, and see you next time, and do some other all developer tool sessions as you like. Thank you. Bye.